Hey everyone, it's Robin, R Silent Crafts, and welcome to my studio. This is my Whip It Wednesday video where I'm going to show you the crafty goodness that I worked on this week. You guys asked for it. I flipped the camera around and this is the view of the room you have. I hope it works. I hope the light is not too much and the shadows aren't too bad. Let me know if anything is super annoying and I will go ahead and try to fix it for next week. I put my little microphone here, so hopefully that will pick up my voice and the sound will be good. Otherwise, I have to hook it on my shirt. It's no big deal. As I mentioned, the view is not going to be the greatest. I don't have any quilts to hang up. I have my bed covered in towels just to keep the cat fur collected. When I go to Arizona, I'm actually going to make a special cat quilt that I can lay on my bed so I can look at the prettiness of a quilt, but knowing that if anything happens to it, if it gets clawed or it gets covered in cat fur, I can throw it in the wash, no problem. And if I have to wash it every 3 days, every week, every month, whatever, that I'm not going to worry about it being damaged. So it's going to be a totally scrappy thing and maybe like an old sheet on the back or something. Nothing like, oh my goodness, the amount of work that went into this is just time consuming. I'm thinking maybe a bunch of like charm square type things or something like that. Just something to add color to the room and versus like beach towel spectacular. But hey, it works. You can still see a couple little quilts that haven't come down yet. Nice time for like Halloween because there is my tree and that is the crazy rooster that many of you have enjoyed seeing on the walls before. My basic storage area is here, so that's what it is. I have 2 sewing machines, so at least they're colorful with their covers and everything. But you want to know what I worked on, not where I'm sitting. I really don't know. So where to start? Let me start with the really fun stuff. The scrap bundles. These are 1 pound bundles of the scrap strips. I actually came up with 11 of them. When I cut these into 2.5 inch strips using the Stripology ruler, anything that was like past the ruler, past that last 2.5 inch strip, it could be 3 inches, it could be 1.5 inches. I put that into a baggie also, so that'll just be like a random, almost like a crumb scrap bundle. I will put that in a separate drop-down listing within the scrap bundle listing. I also cut off the salvages if it had a salvage, and I saved those too, so I'll also pop that in there. I'm not going to put these into the shop until Friday. I think I'll put them in 2 p.m. Eastern Florida time. That way everyone has a chance to see this video, to know they're in there, and to set an alarm if they'd like to purchase them. They go quick. Sometimes they go in minutes, and other times there's a few stragglers left for a few days later, but they're always gone within just a few days. So thank you guys so much for enjoying my scraps. Now grab them though, because these are going to be the last bundles that I have for this year. I 100% know that I won't be cutting any more scraps this year. I have too many other things to cut up, and I don't have all of my fabric here yet. I just brought enough to make these bundles. Whether or not I do it again next year, we'll see. We'll see what fabric I take and what's in storage and what can be cut up, and then what leftovers I might have from working on projects. Now, when you get these, remember, I cut them using the Stripology ruler, so I did the best I could. They should all be 2.5 inches. They're not jelly rolls. They're not 2.5 inch strip bundles. They're scrap bundles. It took me a little bit to figure out and to learn from watching the videos about, they call it the elbow, where when you have the 2 pieces of fabric and they fold and then you cut them, sometimes where the fold is, you might get a little wonky bit. Now, for the most part with these, I don't think it's there, but I didn't check all of them, so I'm not 100% sure. And then some of them, if they ended up with some type of a fold and I didn't catch it, when you open that up and you iron out those folds or creases that were hidden in there, you could have a little wonky bit there too. Now, I actually pressed ironed all of these fabrics before I put them underneath the Stripology ruler, but just in case, I just want to make sure you guys know before you purchase them thinking you're going to have a certain thing. These are definitely scrap bundles. They should all be 2.5 inches, no problem, but just in case, I just want you to be aware. So 2 o'clock Eastern on Friday. I think that's November 3rd. It's going to be first come, first serve. There's no limit on how many you can purchase, so it's totally up to you. I received a fun package in the mail this weekend, and it had a bunch of batik scraps in it, so I thought it'd be the perfect time to make another project bag. Now, of course, you can put anything you want in it. It does have the flat bottom, and I did it as the same style as the last two that I made. I put this up in the community tab. If anyone is interested in project bags, just let me know. I'll put a few in the shop. I don't want to make a bunch of things in the shop, especially this time of year, and have that time used making things that people aren't interested in, and then just let them sit in the shop. So I do have the detachable handle again. I actually had two gray ones that were prepared for a project that I didn't make. I think it was for a cell phone cozy. And I just go ahead and use those because I thought it worked well with the scraps. Even the bottom is a batik. And then on the inside, it's just a white on white, and it's got like a little starburst in it. No pockets or anything like that because it's meant to be a project bag. So this should be in the shop. I'll be working on that and getting it pictures done and all of that and getting it in the shop because today's Monday as usual. So hopefully it'll be in there by Wednesday. So many people mention that they love seeing the cat, so this is Miss Mocha. She's very nervous right now. She doesn't want me to hold her, but isn't she beautiful? She has such pretty colors. And right here on her chest, she has what looks like a heart when she's standing still. But she just wants to walk on the table because she's not allowed up here at Dome Mocha. Her full name is Miss Mocha Latte. Hi, sweetie. Miranda, my daughter, named her because she's actually Miranda's cat, but she was used to being home with all of us, so then Miranda had to get her own cats when she moved out. Hi, sweetie pie. My daughter's cats taught her how to scream and cry and make all kinds of noise when she wants food. Oh, maybe she'll lay right there for us. Now that we're coming into the autumn or fall time here in Florida, which means the temperatures are down into the mid to low 80s with some overnights in the 60s. It's really beautiful after dinner and in the morning. But in the fall and winter time, the cats come out of hiding and they like to hang out and they like to spend time with me hanging out on the bed, or I usually had spot for them in the old craft room so that they could just hang out with me in their beds and stuff like that. Anything to keep them off of the surface, right? Now, I made this project bag the same way I made the other ones, which means I had leftovers that I trimmed off the edges, so I was able to make a batik scrappy fabric postcard. This time I only have the one. I love all the bright fabrics in it. So now I have a collection that I need to finish. They're all quilted. They're all attached to the comic book board on the back, and they are just waiting for me to finish them up. I'll probably be adding these into the shop when I open up, see, I'm going to do it, when I open up the Fabric Postcard Club next year after we settle into Arizona. I might go ahead and get everything all ready so that I can just go ahead and make it go live as soon as we're ready. Just, get the post ready and make sure I keep all of these in a separate container up here so that I don't send them out for just fun and stuff like that. I have the scrappy ones that I send out to you guys. Of course, Miss Mocha wanted to go back out. When the door is slightly closed and I leave it open just a little bit, she's like in and out, in and out. But yeah, I have these separate I have an Etsy container, so I want to go ahead and add these. Because I think these are great because they connect to a project that I worked on. The other thing I worked on this weekend is I wanted to make these little Notion pouches. I've made them in the past. And they're just these fun little scrappy things. Now this one has raw edges on the inside, and I didn't want to have the raw edges. I actually used this to store my microphone stuff in it. So this has seams all the way around, so there's raw edges everywhere. Miss Mocha just opened the door again. This time I closed it all the way. I didn't want to close it all the way because S'mores is out in the living room. But anyways, I wanted to make more of these. These are great little Notions pouches. You could put like knitting things in it, stitch markers, crochet hook. I like to keep some scissors in it, and those little measuring tapes that you press the button and goes zzz back in, those round plastic ones. I like to keep things like that in it so that I can keep it in each one of my project bags. Now, if I'm going to make more project bags, now that I've remembered how I made these so that there's no raw edges, then I will probably try to make them so that they match, at least so it's something similar. So if someone wants to purchase a matching Notions pouch for their project bag, they'll be there. But this one I made a few years ago. This is the first one. Let me show you what I was going for, and this is the first one I made because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I went ahead and I sewed it together the wrong way. No big deal. It still works fine. It's a nice zipper pouch. No raw seams in there. The only thing I'm not thrilled with is, and a lot of people won't like it either. I like it. It's fine. Ooh, look at the gray hairs. I swear they're a little bit grayer this summer. But it has where you close up the bottom of it right there. But once you put your scissors and your pens and pencils or your paintbrushes or something in there, you're not going to see it. So for right now, I'm like, but 2 days from now, I won't care. And I added a little scissors pull on it. So then I'm like, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it right. And I did it right. So there is a gray one. Now this one is already claimed. This one also has a big pair of scissors on there for the zipper pull. I think I'm going to put charms on these for zipper pulls. And again, it has the seam in the center from closing it up. I'll 100% honest, I am never going to take the time to hand sew these. Plus, my hand sewing is not that pretty. Some may ask, can you do it over here or something like that? And maybe, but I think the frustration level on there is so much higher than the frustration level of having something there. Now, if this would really to bother someone or irk someone, you can always put a ribbon on there. They have ribbon with heat and bond on it already, a self-adhesive type ribbon, or you can just go ahead and put some heat and bond strips, because the strips, they can come, I have some that I use for sewing zippers and stuff. You can put the double stick tape or something like that on it and put a piece of ribbon in the bottom. So whether you purchase something from me or someone else, it's always easy to hide that one way or the other. Or just do like I do, and once you put your pens and pencils and scissors in there, you won't see it anyways. So if anyone's interested, let me know. I will make a few more of these to put in the shop. But this week, I want to work on the cell phone pouches, and I have the pattern to where you put a credit card slot in. So I've made these in the past just to figure out the pattern to see how it goes. These, I believe, are in my shop already. So you have, again, these I made previously. You have a spot to put your cell phone in here. So you have a little snap area. No, these aren't the ones I'm making. Darn it. Anyways, I'm going to be making something similar to this, but not like this at all. I don't know where that one is. Pause. So these are the ones that I have the pattern for, that you could put the credit card slots and stuff in. I don't know though, because this one is, it's this size, right? And that's great and all, but I feel like this is a better size. What do you all think? Tell me which one you would prefer me to make. Would you like the larger one, or would you like the larger one or the smaller one? Probably a little bit of both, but I feel like this one is just more of a nice size. But I think I prefer the zipper. I think I've talked myself into it. I think I'm going to use maybe some of the measurements for this and create it in this pattern. I see these in the Facebook group for this pattern. I'll put it down here what the pattern name is. I think it's like the zippy pouch. And my phone, I have a big phone and it fits in here great, and there's plenty of room for it to move around, and it goes all the way up to here. But do you think that's too much? Do you think that's too big? They look so much smaller in the Facebook group. I'll have to double check, because I printed out, this is one of those patterns, I printed out the pattern pieces. There's no measurements. You just print out the pattern piece and you use it to trace around or something like that. And it's not my favorite way because we all use, well, most of us, I know I use my quilting rulers to figure out how to, you know, what size everything needs to be and like that. I cut out my fabric that way. I don't use pattern pieces. I'm thinking I need to make a variety, right? To maybe split it down the middle. Do you feel comfortable having your cell phone held in just by a snap? I mean, these cam snaps are really good, so it does hold it in nicely. You know, the more I look at it, is people make them out of vinyl and cork and stuff in the Facebook group, and I think they look great. But I think when I make one, I'm going to make mine this size. I'll just have to learn how to do the credit card slots here and size it down for there. But you could fit a lot more in this one now, can't you? You can fit this one into that one. Anyway, moving on. Just let me know what you prefer, and that's the one I'll make. I did make the project that I've been wanting to finish. Let me see. I think I have it. So this is the right side up. I'm so much in love with all of the flying geese, especially in the colors and the different sizes, going in different directions. I really like this. This is going to be going into the shop though, if anyone's interested. Has a light gray on the back. It is the same as the background here. I went ahead and I put a nice bright red binding on. And the quilting is all of my matchstick type quilting, all nice and tight together in a basic light gray thread. But of course, you can turn it in any direction you want, hang it on point, hang it this way, lay it on a table for a little table topper. You can put a bowl of candy on it. You could put a candle on it, whatever you want. So that's all of the creative goodness. I just have a couple of little shop things to discuss. I keep forgetting to tell you guys, so Etsy's given us the opportunity to do something a little different with our shop, and it is a make an offer. So not all of the listings in my shop are make an offer, but when you click on the listing and you look over at the price, there'll be a little button that says make an offer. So that means it's been sitting in the shop for a little bit, and I'd love to give it as a discount, but you get to choose the discount. So you make an offer of what price you would like to pay for it, or you can buy it for full price, totally up to you. And then all I have to do is click accept or refuse or deny, and then you can go from there, whether you want to purchase it or make a different offer or whatever. So if there's something you've been looking at and you just weren't sure about, go ahead and check that. I've also lowered some of the prices on certain of the mini quilts and stuff like that, just to get them moving through the shop as we're coming to the end of the year, because that is less for me to inventory and less for me to move next year. So your scrappy word for today will be any form of cell phone pouch. If you could just let me know, do you think you want a smaller one or a larger one? Now this one measures about 7 and something by 4 and something. All of the actual measurements are in my shop if you want to look at it. And then the big guy, it's about 10 by 6, give or take a little bit here or there. There is also a smaller version. I haven't printed out to see what the measurements are. It's called a mini. I think it's meant to be more of a coin purse to put some coins, but it still has the zipper here and then the zipper across the top. So I'm going to print that out also and make a few of those to see what size those are, because I'm hoping that those are a nice size to use as like a little wallet. Put some credit card slots or just stick your credit cards in there, and then you can put some coins in this area. I'm pretty sure it's not going to fit a cell phone, but you never know because I haven't printed it out, and this guy is huge. These are purple sloths. I think that light is just a bit too much. I'll have to adjust that and find a different spot for it tomorrow. Maybe point it up a little higher because it's like getting a suntan over here. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and putting up with the new setup. It's going to be like this until we move. I make no guarantees and I make no apologies. If you want to see one going like this is what you're going to see. You're also going to see it like this for the Advent series. I've already packaged, recorded. I don't think I told you guys that I sent my buddy her Advent package already. She's went in the mail and she's received it a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, whenever already. But she's got it, waiting for time to put up the tree and open it up. So when mine comes in, my friend, as you know, there's no rush, but when mine comes in, I'll put on my little flamingo Christmas tree t-shirt and I will record everything right here as is, and we'll go through and we'll open up the Advent. I might get a little bit closer though, just so that we can really see what it is. And yes, I love my wheelie chair. It wheels great. This is one of those short pill, pile, whatever carpets, and it rolls around beautifully. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys next time. Oh, and before we go, also a huge thank you for those of you that watched the Friday video. It's going to continue about like that. I'm going to expand on it. I'm thinking about just setting the camera up like when I do the live streams and let it just point in this direction as a time lapse, and then just so for like 2-3 hours, the afternoon, whatever I'm doing, and you'll just see whatever you might see. You might see me getting a drink of water. You might see me making some tea. That time it was s'mores wanting to come in the door. You might see me having some lunch, or you could see me working on 4 different projects and just seeing different parts of it. All of that just to say thank you guys so much. I will not be putting any music on it. Everyone that has commented said no music, no music, no music. So I will honor that, and you will just hear the sewing machine. With the time lapse, it condenses it like this, and then I slow it down, so we'll see what you get for sound. After I do the first one, if there's not much sound, I might go ahead. I really don't want to put on the microphone, but I might, but I'll just play with things and you guys will never know until you see what you see. But thank you guys so much. We're live on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a great surprise. We are not going to work on anything special. I'm just going to pull out whatever I'm working on, and that's what we're going to do that day. So I hope everyone had a great Halloween or a great time trick-or-treating, or you just had an enjoyable 31st. And I will see you guys the next time I see you. Bye.